Now, not everyone is a fan of on-ear headphones because of the way they press on your ears, but I actually quite like them because of their stable fit and their portability. And up until now, my favorite portable on-ear headphone has been the Sennheiser Amperior, but we've also looked at some other portable on-ear headphones in the past, like the Beats Solo 2 and the V-Moda XS. Now, in February, I got one of these. This is the Beyerdynamic T51P, and I got a pair of these after a quick demo because I was so impressed by the sound. And in the months since then, this has actually become my favorite portable headphone, regardless of whether it's on ear or over ear. I use this headphone more than any other portable headphone I own, and I would love to tell you what makes this headphone so great. The reviews on this channel are funded by viewers just like you. Join the people helping out and get access to an exclusive weekly mini podcast by heading on over to patreon.com/LachlanLikesAthing. Thanks. Hey everyone, welcome to Lachlan Likes a Thing, the show where I take a thing and see whether or not I like it. Now the thing we're looking at in this video is the Beyerdynamic T51P. And in case you're wondering, yes, the T51P is the same as the Beyerdynamic T51i without the iPhone remote cable. Now, I got this pair of headphones from Minidisc in Australia for 299 Australian dollars, which puts it firmly in the higher end of the portable on-ear market. In this video, we're going to look at the build quality and the comfort of this headphone. We're going to talk about the sound and also how it compares with some of the other popular on-ear headphones on the market today. So let's get started. The T51P has a very practical design with high-quality metal parts and soft-touch plastics that come together in a sparse industrial look. Like most of Beyerdynamic's high-end headphones, the T51P is made in Germany. The no-nonsense design of the T51P seems to be part of an effort to reduce the headphone's weight. This headphone is an astoundingly light 174 grams, yet the use of metal means that it still feels fairly robust. The lack of ornamentation doesn't mean a lack of attention to detail. For instance, the braille markings on the left and right channels are a nice touch, and the headphone has swiveling ear cups that fold both ways. Always a plus. It's important to note that even though the T51P appears to have a pivoting split headband like the DT1350, it's actually just a single piece of metal. This means that it won't swivel around like a pair of scissors and eat your hair like the DT1350 does. The ear pads on the T51P are shallow, but they are very soft and plush and seal quite well. One thing I don't like about the T51P is the cable. It's a double-sided, non-detachable cable which is a little on the thin side. Compared to the Sennheiser Amperior, it's lighter and more compact, and it folds flat. It doesn't have the advantage of user-replaceable parts like the HD25 series does though. Compared to the Beats Solo 2, it's again more compact and has a much more premium look and feel. But no matter how much metal you use, the parts on the T51P are quite thin, and so the headband construction doesn't feel quite as robust as the polymer plastics used in the Solo 2. So as I mentioned before, a lot of people aren't actually fans of on-ear headphones because they literally sit on your ears, and especially if you wear glasses, they can be uncomfortable over time. So for instance, with the Sennheiser Amperior, this is based on the HD25, so it originally has a design that's made for sound engineers and DJs, and it's designed to clamp very securely on the head and very tightly, but it's not exactly comfortable for long listening sessions. But also, on the other end of the scale, you can have too little clamping force, and when a headphone has too little clamping force, it means that if you have a sudden head movement, like with the V-Moda XS, it will fall off your head. And to me, that's actually kind of an important thing for me, because if I was running for the train or if something accidentally pulled on the cable, the headphone would come crashing to the floor. Now, what Beyerdynamic has managed to do with the T51P is they've managed to make a headphone which has just enough clamping force that it's not uncomfortable, but it still stays very secure and very comfortable and stable on the head. And that's really remarkable. This is not only the most comfortable on-ear headphone that I own, it is also very stable and secure on the head. It still is an on-ear headphone. If you wear it for many, many hours, it still will make your ears a bit sore. But this is really the best of both worlds as far as all the on-ear headphones that I've tried. It also offers really strong noise isolation in a fully sealed design, which means that you get that complete package of noise isolation and comfort and portability. And if it had a single-sided cable, then this design would basically be perfect for me. Now let's talk about how the T51P sounds. Now I'm going to do something a little bit different in this video. Actually, this review is going to be in two parts. Now this first part, we're just going to talk about the sound of the T51P and also when you would choose it versus, say, the V-Moda XS or the Beat Solo 2 or the Sennheiser Amperior. But if you want an even more detailed comparison, I've written up a supplemental written review over at my blog, which I've linked in the description of this video, and you can really drill down into the details there. And let me know in the comments of what you think of me splitting things up like this. Anyway, the T51P is a, I think, really nicely tuned headphone, but it is definitely not a neutral sounding headphone. It is a warmer, thicker sounding headphone. It has a kind of chesty mid-bass emphasis. That means that particularly male vocals and the lower range of mid-bass instruments tend to sound really thick, tend to stand out on this headphone. In comparison, the mids, the treble female voices are a little more softer, a little rounded off, not particularly aggressive. So this headphone I wouldn't actually describe as having a neutral balance, though it's not the kind of thing where it ends up being so bass heavy or so mid bassy that it sounds congested or kind of stuffy. Now I love the Sennheiser Amperior, but if you ever found that the treble or the mids were a bit too aggressive, and I myself can find them a bit too much when you're out and about with higher volumes, then the T51P will actually tone that back a bit and you won't have that same kind of issue. The flip side of that is if you are after a headphone with a wide soundstage or really kind of airy sense of space or anything like that, the T51P is not going to be a headphone. Frankly, most on-ear headphones are not going to be particularly exceptional in terms of having a wide soundstage. Now, I think the bass on the T51P is really clever. I suspect because of the small ear cups, they couldn't really get that really deep rumbling sense of scale that you might get from a full-size headphone in terms of bass. So they can't really get the very last, 20 to 50 hertz sub-bass region. But they've kind of masked that a little by boosting just the upper bass a little bit more on the T51P. So you get that thick kind of sound. You actually get quite a lot of bass punch for a lot of synths and that kind of bass music. If you are after that last few kind of sub-bass kind of decibels, I would still go with the Beat Solo 2, because the Beat Solo 2 digs deeper than any other on-ear headphone that I've tried. But at times I think the Solo 2 can be excessive in terms of the bass. So I think the T51P strikes a really clever balance. So I think this headphone is a good all-rounder. It's not perfectly neutral, but I think it's an all-rounder that works just as well with acoustic kind of indie music as it does with electronic music, and in a pinch it does work well with kind of classical or stringed instruments. Now, it's still not going to be the headphone for you if you are after that kind of razor sharp treble or that really a sense of articulate wide sound staging or anything like that. I still think you're going to be happier with some over-ear models as opposed to this. But for me, this headphone packs the best combination of portability and comfort, along with what I think is a really nice sound for noisy environments. So this is a headphone that I can give my strongest recommendation. I really, really like the T51P, and even if you aren't a fan of on-ear headphones, I really do urge you to give this a go, give this a listen if you get the chance, because I think this is really special. Once again, I've linked a more detailed comparison of how the T51 sounds compared with the Sennheiser Amperior and the Beat Solo 2 and the V-Moda XS, and you can check that out if you follow the link in the description of this video. And in the description you'll also find a link to a spreadsheet of all my reviews. Please like and subscribe if you found this video helpful, and you can talk to me on Twitter and Facebook. Thank you once again to everyone who helped get this headphone on this channel and get this headphone on my ears, because I really do like this. So thank you a lot for your support, and happy listening. Very secure and very